The January transfer window is upon us in episode 6 of our FIFA 22 Hamburg Career Mode. Now a few seasons into our Bundesliga journey, we've established ourselves as one of the top clubs in Germany, as we are 8th place in the league and through to the quarterfinals of the DFB Pokal. But what's even more exciting, in my opinion, is that in our first season of European competitions, we've breezed through the group stage and are into the knockouts. Winsheimer has been on fire. He's the 3rd highest goal scorer in the Bundesliga. He also leads the club in goals, so I don't think it makes sense to take him out of the starting 11. I appreciate all the transfer suggestions left in the last episode. It seems like the area you all want me to improve the team the most is at the left back position. We're currently using Leibold, who is right around his peak rating, will soon be on the decline in this save. And with Hamburg having a history of high potential left backs, I think it makes sense that we make the upgrade at this position. I do want to go back in time a little bit to FIFA 19 and showcase Douglas Santos, the last high potential left back that Hamburg had. Unfortunately, he's no longer in the game, but there are some decent Brazilian left back options, including a few in the Bundesliga. You've got Lago from Augsburg, not the quickest player, but technically sound on the ball and decent defensive attributes. Paulo Taggio, who we know quite well from our Wolfsburg Career Mode last year, as well as the rebuild I just published. He's pretty balanced in his attributes, but won't grow much in his rating. And then over in the Austrian Bundesliga, there's Bernardo, who has a real face in game, so I wanted to include him in this list. The problem that we are running into, though, is we don't have many funds at our disposal. We used most of our transfer budget to sign Vuskovic at the beginning of the season. And with how many youth academy talents that we've promoted, and some of them having a decent value, I thought we may as well recall these players from loan, and then I would go and see which one of them are glitched. By that I mean which ones don't have a kit number on their shorts and also won't have a name on the back of their shirt. It's just a visual thing that tends to bug a lot of us that play career mode. But in the process of recalling these players, we actually saw a huge jump up in rating for Toni Schmidt, a German left back who I had absolutely no plans for in this save. I think his rating was in the lower 60s, but now it's at 75. And all of a sudden, he's an option for us at the fullback position. I figure I want to have at least one youth academy player rise to the ranks in addition to Krause, our homegrown talent. So we're going to put him on this right back development plan and not convert his position. It's just to make sure he balances out the rest of his attributes. Still letting a few players go along the way, including Dijkstra. It's a shame he is glitched because he had some incredible attributes at the start, but he'll be heading to Hoffenheim, so we might see a rematch against him as we acquire 14 million for this transfer. Another exciting prospect in Mats Albrecht heading to Reading for 2.9 million. With the left back position seemingly sorted, I had to reassess my transfer plans, and I do want to make an effort to sign more former players from Hamburg. It creates some cool storylines in this save, and speaking of storylines, there's few better than this one with Levin Öztunali, a former FIFA Wonderkid who peaked at 86 potential a few years ago, but still very much a good option in Bundesliga sides. Well, what's really special about him is that he's the grandson of Uwe Zieler, who's the club's top goal scorer. I have no expectations of Öztunali to be that sort of player. He's more of a creative midfielder than anything, but he'll add some needed squad depth, signing for 3.2 million, which is slightly below his current evaluation. We're going to put him on a development plan from right midfielder to right winger, giving him a +1 in his rating. Assuming he gets enough minutes to achieve more growth, I can see him becoming a regular substitute in this Hamburg squad. While we're on the topic of former players, I wanted to open this up to any comments you might have as to which players we should sign in future seasons. I know we're progressing through this career mode pretty rapidly, so I think that will again be the transfer focus for us in the next episode. If you are enjoying this Hamburg career mode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here. In the process of recalling players from loan, we obviously need to send them out on loan spells again. Fortunately, we had most of our top potential players having deals sorted. I think the player to keep an eye on is Patrick Fuchs, who has potential to be special and is currently out on loan at Porto. Few updates to youth scouting. We'll be establishing a network in Germany for 3 months, looking for any type of player. And again, looking at some of the top 4 nationalities in the Bundesliga, there have been some prominent players from Poland to stack up appearances for their respective club. You can use Robert Lewandowski as an example for both Borussia Dortmund and Bayern München. We've had to simulate forward to March for this round of 16 tie in Europa League. Again, Moscow will be our opponents. And here is how the starting 11 looks. We've already seen a +2 in growth for Schmidt. Fingers crossed the move to try out a younger left back will pay off for us instead of having the experienced Leibold out wide. Well, let's get into the gameplay and see if we can continue this dream start to Europa League. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've played against CSKA in a career mode. The last few FIFAs, they've got a pretty decent side. Akinfe is still captaining the team. He's going on nearly 20 years with the club. But as far as the simulation goes, we did pick up a win on the away fixture, 1-0 courtesy of a Winsheimer goal. As we return to the Volkspark Stadion, the aim is to retain another clean sheet. Hopefully score a few goals along the way and increase that aggregate lead. CSKA with the first highlight, the pass getting by Winsheimer, falling to Shalov, and eventually their striker unable to finish the chance. It's Yata down the right wing, is going to pass this to Krause, plays through Winsheimer, and here is Akinfe picking up a good save. He was tough to break down, despite us having the majority of chances early on. Good interception from Sands to again set up Yata, denied by Akinfe, but a matter of time. This is just a mistake from the computer. In between this sort of thing and the red card offenses, you do need to question some of the decision making from the CPU. But I feel like we've settled on some pretty decent sliders, providing somewhat of a challenge. Although it was a weird goal to score, I'm grateful that we managed to increase that lead because CSKA were no joke. Pretty strong defensively, giving us a couple of chances here and there, but nothing too good in front of goal. Here's our first look at Schmidt. I think he is lacking in some of his more attacking-minded statistics. Definitely gifted in the pace and defending department, but the debut for Öztunali, we'll see if he can either provide a goal or assist. Setting up Winsheimer down the right side. Again, Akinfe strong on his near post. Kind of summed up this match. Probably should have ended in a 0-0 draw. But we'll be advancing to the quarterfinals. Lens will be our next opponent in the quarterfinals, and they have actually just completed the signing of Patrick Berg from Bodo Glimt. In my opinion, it might be one of the best transfers of the January transfer window IRL. But their squad was no match for us in the simulation, the home fixture ending 2-0. It's not often that I turn away from Winsheimer as our starting striker, but with the 2-0 aggregate lead, I think we give Xerxes a chance and see what sort of impact he can make with more minutes. But Lons with the first opportunity down this left side. They're going to work the ball back in, and Simeone taking a touch, finding the pass in the middle, and Karius beaten on his far post. Just 11 minutes into this one, and Lons have halved our aggregate lead. So it's going to be an interesting one here and see who can respond next. Aguirre making a run with that pace, nearly finds the far post as well. We'll see on a replay how close this actually was. And you see these sort of runs from him so often with how quick and his dribbling attributes. I feel like he can beat most defenses, even at this sort of level. What a block there from Vuskovic, getting a slide tackle in, denying the effort from Lons. But one final opportunity in the 38th minute, denied off of the post. It's a good thing too, because similar to the match we had against CSKA, we were on a pretty level playing field here against Lons. Finally getting a chance in the 55th minute. Yata having his shot denied, as we will sub off Xerxes and let Winsheimer finish this one out. Certainly the more proven of the two strikers, and that seemed to make the difference as Winsheimer holds up the play enough to find Yata into space. 1-on-1 with the keeper. He is going to go with the chip shot effort to the far post. Took us 72 minutes to break down this Lons team. But when you can get the angles right on the chip, they are near impossible to be saved, just over the outstretched arm of the goalkeeper. The simulated performances are a big reason why we're able to advance, but I'm happy we've been on the same level as all of our opposition. The 4 teams remaining in the competition were probably favorites to win Europa League. Roma in the semifinals, and as we take a look at the starting 11, you're going to notice some changes. On our end, Kittel has picked up a 3-month injury, leaving him out the rest of the season. Antoine Griezmann also signing for Roma. Even if he's past his best in this save, he's still going to be a formidable striker to come up against. It didn't seem to matter too much on the simulation because, again, we pick up a 2-0 result. I assume both of those goals coming in the first half. Definitely not taking any chances in our starting 11. Winsheimer is the proven striker, and that partnership of him and Krause seemed to lead to so many of our goals. Winsheimer will open up this scoring, getting that one by Vlachodimos, who is, in my opinion, still one of the best keepers outside of the top 5 leagues. Of course, now he's made the transfer to Serie A. That early goal set the tempo for this one, and the style of play was very similar. Winsheimer eventually playing the ball out wide, who will get the return pass. This time around, he'll have his shot denied by Vlachodimos, but in the second half, we're going to make some substitutions, keeping in mind that we are likely going to reach the final. We want to take off the players with a yellow card. We don't want them to miss the final match of Europa League due to a suspension. Also giving some rotational players some time to make an impact on this match and maybe impress me enough to feature more often for us. But here in the 63rd, Winsheimer will play the ball across. It's nearly a goal for Öztunali. He's been close on a couple of efforts, and generally speaking, I'm still happy with the transfer of him as a rotational player. A 3-0 scoreline against Roma will put us up against Atalanta for the Europa League final, but that match will be played midweek. First, we need to get through the DFB Pokal, which again, we've reached the latter stages of this competition. We definitely got ambitions to win this match, to add another trophy to our cabinet, but I want to keep in mind that this is going to be the final match for Andre Hahn. I think it's unlikely for him to feature in Europa League, and because he spent his entire career in Germany, I figure we'll try to give him some minutes for this Pokal final. Well, we've been down this road before. The DFB Pokal is how we secured Europa League in Season 3, but credit where it's due, Union Berlin has defeated some good teams to get here, even beating Bayern in the semifinals on penalty kicks. But unfortunately for them, this was kind of the Hamburg show. Winsheimer to open up the scoring. Took just 13 minutes, and it's just very similar types of goals. We play the ball out wide, eventually Winsheimer gets the return pass, and I think his conversion rate in front of goal is among the best strikers that I've used. Here's some quick build-up play, and Aguirre has really kind of learned this right winger or left winger role, so he's pretty much a playmaker. It's why we signed him. We initially wanted him to be either a left back or a center midfielder. Now he can push forward and be a goal-scoring forward at times. I think every club needs a player like this, and Aguirre is certainly going to be that for us for the rest of this save. But as promised, Andre Hahn will make his final appearance for us in the 45th minute, being brought on for Winsheimer. Maybe he can get a goal before things are said and done. Another highlight as Yatta has a bit of space. He's going to chip this across to Hahn, and in front of goal, I thought he had his goal. Yatta eventually does get the rebound shot, but we really did want Hahn to get one more goal here at Hamburg. He wasn't the most impactful signing for the club, but I still think he scored a goal when we most needed him to, and he's helped us reach this point. We're going to make things 5 in the 77th minute. Aguirre getting his brace, this time from a long shot effort. So yeah, a pretty routine final. We didn't have to stress too much, and we even brought off some of our players around the 70th minute just to preserve player fitness, because we do have that Europa League final midweek in a couple of days' time. Those minor changes make all the difference in career mode. So with the Pokal again secured in consecutive seasons, we've guaranteed Europa League at the bare minimum, but I think it's fair to say everyone here at Hamburg, including our fans, have our eyes set on Champions League. The Path to Champions League is established. If we can win against Atalanta, we will take the step up next year. This could also be a meaningful match for Krause. I don't know what his future is going to look like, whether he stays here at Hamburg for the long-term future, whether we field some of the inevitable offers that will come in. I'm definitely going to take your feedback on board. So if you'd like to see Fritz for the entire career mode or would rather see him leave, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll have a press conference devoted to that in the next episode. There's definitely some sense of a home field advantage, as this match will be played at Stuttgart's home ground, not necessarily right next to us, as Hamburg is more so in the north of Germany and Stuttgart's in the south. You can guarantee there will be some traveling fans for this one, but right from the get-go, we were the better team. Aguirre trying to float in that cross to Yatta, and now Yatta down the right side, showcasing how quick this buildup can be. Two players in the middle nearly locking onto things, but somehow it's Atalanta to still survive and keep things level. Ollie Watkins making the transfer and getting a header on the near post. It's Karius with the save, and he has been so consistent in recent episodes, continuing that here in Europa League. But unfortunately, we are going to suffer an injury, and a big one at that. Kinsombi is one of our last center midfielders, and with him picking up a knock, that means Ostanali will need to feature as more of a central player rather than out wide. Perhaps this could be his new permanent position if he puts in a good performance. If we start as the better team, Atalanta definitely found their way into things, really liking to work the ball down the byline and sending in crosses. We deal with enough of them to get that one out of the box, but here Winsheimer tries to play through Yatta. That's dealt with pretty easily, but Henderson not the best distribution, and we're quick to pounce on the chance. Of course, it had to be Aguirre to get the goal, but that was all about his positioning. It was practically an open net, no way for Henderson to respond in time. Very similar to some of our previous matches in Europa League, just a single mistake may well determine the result of this one, as we're able to get this chance cleared away, and Yatta trying to counter before the halftime break. Ref letting things play on, as we've been preferring this right-hand side. Winsheimer play through, first time effort denied by Henderson, kind of make it up for his miss. But now Aguirre down the left is going to spot out the run from Krause, floating in a cross and kind of trying out the Atalanta tactics. Saved by the keeper, but Krause is going to get another chance here in the 56th. It's a long shot, and this one beats the keeper, but is also going to be denied by the post. But this match is winding down. We're trying to hang on to possession. Atalanta will do well enough to win back the ball. Will they be able to get a counterattack in and push this match to extra time? They really didn't have a sense of urgency as the ref calls for full time. And what has been a Europa League run filled with a bit of luck on the simulations, but also some solid defensive performances as showcased in this final, guaranteeing us Champions League and continuing this upward trajectory of the club. It opens up a lot of possibilities as far as what players we want to sign for this career mode. Maybe not signing the top level players, but most transfers are going to be fair game moving forward. And I said this last season with the DFB Pokal, but I think this will probably be the last year of Schonlau as captain. I'm amazed he's made it this far as a starting center back, but I'll make sure he stays at the club as a rotational player. We'll get into the end of season recap now, showcase the players' statistics, and determine what made us so successful this season. With all the Europa League and Pokal matches, we weren't able to focus too much on the Bundesliga this season. Still a couple of surprise outings though. Wolfsburg winning the league, upsetting Bayern's consecutive streak in Germany. We do end up finishing 10th, so very much mid-table, which completes our board objectives. And then looking towards the relegation zone, you've got Bochum in the promotion playoff final, Augsburg and Dusseldorf both being sent down. We are going to see the return of Werder Bremen back to the Bundesliga, which is always nice to see. And taking a look at the Bundesliga 2 standings, Schalke and Hannover will be joining them. So slowly but surely, some of the former staple sides in the Bundesliga are back in the top flight, ourselves included. Recapping top scorers, Lewandowski does lead the way in goals. Kind of surprised that Bayern didn't win the league as we cover some of these numbers. But we do have the single appearance in the top 15. It's Winsheimer in 7th, 16 goals from 31. Gnabry will lead the league in assists. We've got Aguirre and Kitzel both featuring in the top 15. And Manuel Neuer with the most clean sheets. A pretty respectable outing though from Karius, who had the 5th most clean sheets in the league. We were pretty fortunate on our opponent in the final of the Pokal, but we'll absolutely take a 5-0 result. PSG winning Champions League this time around. Of course, we won Europa League, and Napoli winning Conference League. Winsheimer's numbers continue to be something else. I'm wondering how long he'll be usable in this save, considering we've got Champions League for next season. It'd be something I'd like to hear your input on. Should we stick with Winsheimer, or should we maybe upgrade at the striker spot? The fact he led in both goals and assists is a pretty hard task to achieve, and it's been fairly unprecedented in previous career modes I've done. But check out this growth for Schmidt. Of course, he had the huge rise to his rating when we recalled him from his loan spell, but he still went up +4 over the course of the season just by getting enough minutes. He definitely deserves a new contract for next season. But here's an update as well on Fuchs, up to a 75 overall, so maybe in contention as a backup striker. We're probably too late in the save for more youth academy prospects to get into the starting 11 and substitutes, but I do want to update y'all on the players that we found through our scouting networks. Majewski, a Polish right back, already up to an overall of 67, and then you've got Neubauer, an Austrian left back. Pretty similar on the overall potential, right around the same as well. All good on the board objectives. We're in the green and we should have some upgraded expectations for next season. But I want to thank channel members for supporting what we do here on YouTube. Click the join button if you want to learn more about the perks available. That's a wrap to another episode of the Hamburg Career Mode. Season 4 on the horizon. Drop a comment with any transfer suggestions. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. But until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to y'all again soon.